but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time just talking, because you won't really get it unless you get the healings or become a practitioner anyway. So I'll tell you some important things, but more I want you to experience light activation. So you'll get a lot more by the experience of it all. I'm Cindy Eyler, as Archangel Michael said. I'm the founder of Light Activation Healing System, and this is Homer Castillo, who is my director of Light Activation, and Ai Ozawa, my other director of Light Activation. I'll tell you how Light Activation came about. I had been doing healings and all kinds of classes for many years, and I was always very good at healing. Always, it was my knack. I knew it wasn't my first day, many lifetimes of this. But I was looking for something that was going to just rock my world and my client's world. I wanted something just accelerated and amazing. So I was looking on the internet and searching and searching and searching, and there just wasn't anything that was rocking my world. So I finally received a message, and they told me, you are going to channel a healing modality. And I wasn't really thrilled about that, because that meant work. I was much happier to just go learn it from somebody else. But that wasn't happening. They'd wake me up at 2 in the morning, and I'd sit with my laptop and channel day after day after day until I had a stack of pages about this tall. And then they said, okay, make the manuals. Well, they didn't say make the manuals. They said go teach. So actually my first class, bless their souls, there's some of them in here that had just little pieces of random papers. So after that class, I did make manuals. So as I started teaching this modality, I was like, wow, I was seeing people just changing their lives hugely, very quickly. So I'll tell you who light activation is for. Light activation is for people who want a better life. It's for people who want to move past their issues and find joy in being here and finding their life purpose and having a reason to be here and being excited about being here. Because actually, did you know that we're supposed to be having fun on this earth plane? Did you know that life is supposed to be easy and flowing? So, we get to issues that are in your way and help you to find that, first of all, your life purpose, and then get on that road, and it happens really quickly. And then you get the skill on how to manage moving through life with flow rather than struggle. So that's really key. Through that, I have seen people's lives just change. So for the clients that come to me, their lives change almost instantly. Things are happening with the first healing. And as a practitioner and a teacher, and most of the people in this room are teachers, so they've gone through mastery level and teacher's training. It's a whole different journey when you become a practitioner, because now light activation is a journey, whether you're a client or a practitioner. But as a practitioner, we actually travel to places like Egypt, and we have our private accesses in the King's Chamber where we do light activation healings, and the Isis Temple, and we just added on Abu Simbel. So we have this amazing journey that we go through to bring up our vibration and to make our lives just closer and closer to Source. And when I say Source, that's whoever it is to you. Some people call it God, some people call it Creator, some people call it Allah. To me, it's all the same. Okay, as long as you have a higher power, you're good, okay? So, why we're here is to remember that we are part of that Source, okay? We do have that perfection, and if we see any illness or discomfort in our lives, it's because we've seen that, okay? And so we just need to correct that and find why those things are there. Sometimes it's through our DNA, okay? And that's a really important thing to know, that look at your family line. What is your heritage? What are some devastating, traumatic things that happened in that country that maybe you've never even been to that country? But you know what? It's in your DNA, so you're carrying that vibration as well. So it's those things that we don't know about that we have to know about, because if we don't know it, how can we correct it? Past lives. How about things that you worry about in this lifetime? You don't know where it comes from. And I recently did a session on somebody, and I saw that she was crippled in a past life, and they told me that she had polio. So I asked her, have you been afraid of sickness in this lifetime? And she says, oh my gosh, I have always been afraid that I was going to be in a wheelchair. And she didn't know where that came from. And it just freaked her out all her life pretty much. So now we found this past life residue had come to this lifetime, and we can resolve that and correct it so it can no longer be in her vibration and in her way. So it's the things that we don't know that we really want to know, because how do you correct it if you don't, like I said. So light activation, it just works on so many different levels. I could be here for a week to talk about it. I want to focus in a little bit now on the Ancient Egyptian connection and the Atlantean connection. When I channeled this modality, I thought it was a new modality, and I thought, cool, I'm new. But as my journey came along, I was told this is an ancient modality, and you have signed up to do this every time you come into this life. So every time I come back, I have done this healing. So the people who are drawn to it, that have worked with me, we have walked in many lifetimes together, in Egypt, in Atlantis, many, many lifetimes. So we bring in that vibration. So as far as the ancient Egyptian portion, there's a lot to it, but I'll just give you some general idea of how that incorporates. If you have been to our booth, you saw the healing pyramids, which Homer channeled from the star people, and created those with his father, and they're amazing. And if you haven't tried it, please get underneath one of those, because it will rock your world. So it's sacred geometry, okay? The crystal bowls, these are ancient healing tools right here. It heals with sound and vibration, okay? So the power disc, Homer also has channeled this, and there's crystals in there. So this kind of crosses over. You see the feathers. We also have a Mayan connection going on, which Mayans are very star beings, okay? So he has symbolisms and sacred geometry and crystals on there. And also the vortex of Egypt. When we travel through Egypt, there are vortexes everywhere we go. And we don't just go to Cairo, we go all over the place. So we're bringing that vibration back to this healing. And when we work on you, we are helping you because we have it in our vibration. So it comes to you and helps move things out of you. So these trips aren't only for us, but they really help you. Also, the ancient Egyptians, magic was a normal, everyday, natural thing for them. They had their healing temples. They had their high priestess and their high priest and their healers and their psychics, and they would get healings in there. Those were the people that got to go in those temples. And so they would have the insight. They worked with the natural rhythms. They worked with the planets and the stars. That was just a natural thing. And we have gotten away from that. And they are really, our guides are pulling us back to that, okay? So that is a little bit. There's a lot more. But let's go to Atlantis. Now, the Atlanteans also had their healing temples. They were very much working with crystals, okay? They also worked with their natural intuition. It just was who they are, and still is who they are. We have Atlantean guides that work with us. But the amazing things about the Atlanteans, they knew how to keep their mind focused, clear, and in a high perception. They never went to fear. They never went to judgment. Everything is as it is.